Well, we're fishing this week in maybe one of the best walleye fisheries in the country, and that is the western basin of Lake Erie. I'm fishing with my good friend Sean Freund and my fishing buddy here, Chase Parsons. And I tell you what, we're kind of in a transitionary time of year. Transitionary in that the fish are coming off the spawn and moving out into open water. Transitionary in that the fish are coming up from off the bottom to suspended. And transitionary because most people know this time of year, when the water temperature is lower than 50 degrees, they bite on crankbaits. When it's above 50 degrees, they bite on spinners. We're right at 50 degrees, so I don't know what it's going to take, but we're going to do whatever it takes to get the next bite.
There are a couple of reasons why the walleye fishing in the western basin of Lake Erie is so good in the early spring. First, many of the fish that inhabit Lake Erie pass through this area during their spawn, attracted to the big reefs as well as the Maumee and Detroit rivers. However, as the spawn winds down, the walleyes begin their return migration back east, and the first major land masses that they encounter are the Bass Islands.
Here we go, outside. You going there?
With the passing front winding down, the big waves are keeping the biters guessing as they begin to fight in what they are marking as larger suspended fish.
Is he feeling any bigger?
Hard to tell, these waves, you know. It doesn't feel real big. What's wrong with that one? That's a nice fish, huh?
I would say so. It doesn't feel very big.
Must be them guns, huh?
Knowing now that sporting the right kind of weaponry isn't just related to tackle, the biters take advantage of using both sides of the islands to escape any unfavorable winds. Having established a few good trolling runs, it's now just a matter of letting the walleyes dictate what they want and knowing how to seek out the biggest fish they can find.
Not too bad. Bigger though, we need bigger.
Yep.
We have nice fish most places, but we need a bigger one than that. Here we go. So I stopped the chart here to show you what you're looking for when you're out in Lake Erie. Right here you have just a real classical big fish mark. The arc is real big like this because here's where it first starts to come into the cone of the transducer, and when it gets up right under the boat, the fish itself marks, and you can see a little bit of red in there. That means it's a bigger fish, and then here's it going out of the cone. So even like this fish here, this little arc here, this is a fish, it's just on the edge of the cone. It didn't come right straight under the boat. And then of course here's another low fish. But what you're looking for is these suspended fish. You're going to run your lures above them, and you're going to be in the right spot on Lake Erie.
Fish on. Well, I saw it hit, and it, like, the board slid back a foot, and then we all looked at it. It didn't look like I was...
Right, it just hung there.
Oh,
this could be a good fish. This could be a good fish.
She wants to come back and
Yeah, I
whack
think
it.
he just dropped it, or...
I'll tell you what, this is a good one. No horse in this one, in. Man,
Reach.
60 feet out yet. It is straight down.
The guppy's working overtime.
There's G-Man.
He's even smiling at me, too.
Oh, the guppy?
Yeah.
You know what? This is that spinner I moved up a little. I saw that bait up high, and I thought, I'm going to just raise up one of these to 20 behind the board. This is a big fish.
You want to trade, Keith? Yeah, I saw it.
Let's get him in.
There he is.
There he is. It's a good one. Goal, big one. There you go. There you go. That's big.
Oh, yeah. Action for that one. And it was worth it.
I tell you
There's
what.
one you won't forget.
I tell you what, I raised that spinner up. I only ran 20 feet below the board.
Right.
So it can't be going down more than 12 feet, maybe 10, 12 feet.
Look at the belly on this one.
Over 47 feet of water. So he's way up in the water column. Maybe this, with this weather, you know, kind of calming down, they're moving up a little. Boy, you bit that red hook right there. Ow. Look at this guy.
He's got some teeth too.
Look at how broad he is.
Oh, beautiful.
Man, they're
Just a
sitting out here in this
beautiful
deep water, and you can see those big clouds of bait fish.
Right.
I mean, it must be that they're just kind of sitting below that, and then that spinner comes through at about the same depth. They drive up there and just chomp on it. I'm liking chompers.
Yes, chompers. Hey,
All righty. Okay. Back you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Here we go. Back in the water.
In the water she goes. Another good release. Another good release.
Gave us the final glance back.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a pretty interesting situation here today. We're open water trolling. In many cases, these fish are suspended very high in the water column. It's late April, the water temperature is right at 50 degrees. That's the water temperature where you start looking at, do I pull cranks, do I pull spinners? Because at 50 degrees is when spinners start to work pretty well. Now the difference between pulling cranks and pulling spinners is basically a speed-related deal. Cranks generally are going to be something you want to pull from 1.5 up to 2.5 miles an hour. But like I said, it's late April, so you're going to want to be on the slow side if you're pulling cranks, but spinners with that 50-degree temperature mark come into play. Because it's a little bit on the high side for speed, we're following about the 1.3 to 1.5 mile an hour zone with the kicker here. Pulling the cranks and spinners together is letting us figure out what the fish really want, and in some cases, they might want both.
I don't know, what do you think?
Maybe some purple, blue. Purple or blue. Get out a little deeper.
Outside board, maybe we should just get that in there. Maybe we'll just stick with the color we got. When the weight of the fish comes in so heavy that back of the board pulls under, and this is what we call flattening a board. I like flat boards.
Feels good. Every walleye feels good with teeth, right? Every fish with teeth feels good.
How far back is that one? 55?
55 back. See what we have here.
You got it. I'll give you the net.
Yeah, why don't you hand me the net? That'd be great.
Kind of just feels solid. It's not really moving too
Get
much.
up there, Chase. Ooh, this is a good one. Look at him out there.
Don't lose this one. This looks like a good fish.
Ooh. This is a nice fish. Wow. Pretty one,
Big
too.
head shake. Get up, Chase. Get up. Oh, yeah. That's a nice fish.
That is a nice one there. Oh, now that's a good one. That's what you come to Lake Erie for right there, man. Wow. We're putting that little chunk of crawler on that middle hook. God, that's a nice fish. Oh, man. Here you go, man.
Big guy, big
Look at the
fish.
size of that.
Beautiful.
How
Beautiful.
about you hold the thing?
What a beast.
Take hold of this.
Man, is that nice.
There, look at that.
But I tell you what, you're a pretty big guy, but I bet that fish still looks pretty big in front of you.
This does. This makes me happy every time I catch one of these. Right. Okay, we'll get her back in the water. There you go. Water you go.
When you come out to Lake Erie, obviously the big technique to use out here for big fish is trolling. So let me go over some of the equipment you'll want to bring out with you to be real effective trollers. First of all, when you're fishing suspended fish, you want to use a planer board. It's going to spread your lures out to the side so you can cover more water, but it's also going to spread them out and get them away from the boat. Suspended fish are higher in the water column, much more susceptible to spooking, so a planer board is going to help you out there. Since we're fishing both crankbaits and spinners, I like to use the ones with the tattletale, especially for the spinner fishing. A lot of times the fish will come up behind the lure, grab it just slightly, the flag will go down. You can see that. If they drop the bait, you can then feed the bait and the board back to them and a lot of times get them to bite again. So a board with a tattle flag is a good thing to use. As far as a rod and reel, I like to use a good trolling rod. A good trolling rod has a good stiff backbone on it, but with a flexible tip. You're going to be fighting these big fish in a long way, so you want to make sure that tip has some flexibility so that you aren't getting a big hole in their mouth and losing those fish. I like to use about an 8.5 foot rod for this. The little bit longer rod is going to make it easier to fight those fish in. The next component to look at is your line. I've been using 10-pound XT for a lot of years and continue to use it for this kind of trolling. Monofilament is what you're going to want to use out here for both spinners and the crankbaits because you don't got to get down real deep, so you won't need fire line or lead core to do that. The last thing we want to look at is a line counter reel. The reason this is so important is because we're doing trolling of suspended fish, so we got to know how deep our baits are going. If you look at a crankbait, they have a maximum depth that they go. A lot of times though, when we're trolling out in open water, we fish the bait up higher. So what we do is let out enough line to get it to the right zone and keep track of that on our line counter reel. With a spinner, the important thing there is how much line you got going from your board down to your weight. So again, the line counter reel keeps track of how deep we're running the baits. So you put this all together, you take a good rod, some good line, you take that line counter reel, you get that crankbait or that spinner down in the right zone, and you're going to be effectively trolling out on Lake Erie and hopefully catching a lot of big fish.
Chase, I got one.
Fish on?
Chase, I got one.
Chase, Keith's got one.
Chase, I got one.
How does it feel?
It feels good.
It feels good.
This isn't the spinner, is it? He snuck he snuck one of them coolies in my spinner spot.
I love when a plan works.
I've heard that before.
Looks like pretty
He
good
looks
one,
like
Keith.
a halfway decent fish.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
He does look good.
Stop wallowing up there. Stop doing that.
He's coming in.
I know. Keep
He's
bringing
coming.
him.
I'm gonna give him the final pull. Got him. All right. There's a good fish.
There's a good one.
That's a great fish. That's a great fish. I like it. Wow, look at the size of that one. Look at how I crushed it sideways again.
Same hook, you know, just right there.
Right off the corner of the
front
boat.
hook.
They get them in there like that. Just a tiny chunk of crawler on there. They really seem to trigger on that.
Need a pliers, Keith?
I don't think so. I think it's just right here.
All right.
There you go.
That is a good one
That's
there.
pretty. That's a nice fish.
Well, you did a pretty good job fighting it.
You did a pretty good net job.
Good had to flip him in the net a little bit there. He was out there pretty wide.
Yeah, put a little bit of painted a red bill on there.
Red bill?
A little chunk of crawler. Right.
That's Seville strikes.
The coolie. Rawr. Here we go. Nice fish.
In my fishing experience out here on Lake Erie, I've found one little tip that might help you catch more walleye. First of all, take your crankbait and line it up so that the middle hook is straight on the back of the bottom side of the crankbait. You take a little chunk of crawler, not too big, 1.5 inch long, and you just pinch a little bit of it off. And what you do is you find that center hook and you just put right on the tip of it, just like so. Once you have your crawler on your middle hook, you'll notice that it runs perfectly parallel with your bottom of your bait. And all this is going to do is create a little wiggle or a little scent, and it might have a reaction bite. And you can also use gulp. Gulp works great too. But anyway, it's going to work well for you on a body of water like Lake Erie.
Topics, leading information on tackle and techniques to make you a better fisherman. Presented by Mercury.
The tournament trail spawned the slow death technique. And I developed a hook for Mustang a couple of years ago that basically was a special bend with a hook that would twirl a real night crawler. Man, a good hook. All right, good deal. It's always been a real night crawler that you use with slow death. Well, this year we had an AIM tournament, Anglers Inside Marketing Tournament, which is the top tour in the country. And we had an artificials only event in Brimley. So we were forced to try to experiment with a whole bunch of different things. And one of the things that I found out, and it was pretty cool, is that you can use the same slow death hook with the right gulp product, and in many cases it's as good or better than live bait. All I do is I take the slow death hook and I lay it right across my finger and I make the bend more severe. So you're looking at even more of a severe bend than what I had before with just the hook that you can buy. And then you use the Berkley Gulp 3-inch fry. It looks like a little half a night crawler, and you thread it on your hook just like you would a real night crawler. So it goes up far enough so that the head of the fry will slide over the knot. You put it in the water and then just double check that it's spinning. And by making this hook modification, this thing twirls. I mean, it's incredible, and the fish cannot resist it. This is a new phase of the slow death hook.
The The water temps have held right at 50 degrees for the last 2 days in the waters surrounding the Bass Islands in the western basin of Lake Erie. This split temperature has given tournament anglers Keith Kavajecz, Chase Parsons, and Sean Freund the unique chance to troll both crankbait and spinner setups for big walleyes at the same time.
A good thing I'm the one who grabbed this one, because I'm the only one that's got big enough biceps to handle this.
Yeah, more like good enough low center of gravity to handle it.
You want me to get the board for you, Jake?
Yeah,
Handy, that thing ripped that board to the middle, didn't it?
it did.
Staying straight down, too.
Yeah, it is.
Just another...
I believe that's what you call smoking a board.
Yes, it is. Yeah, this one's got some weight. I like the feel of this
got
one.
the
I think we're coming over here.
Slow down the engine a little.
10 right now. Yeah, I'm gaining on him a little bit. He just decided to come up.
He's deep though.
Yeah, he's
You're gonna have to bring him up just a little.
trying to lift him.
Good fish. Good fish. Yeah!
Oh,
Yeah! Good job! All right!
that's a good one.
That's a good fish.
Look at the size of this thing. It's a pig. Wow. It is a pig. Biting a net. Let go of the net.
Look at the
teeth.
teeth. Look at the teeth on that
He's
thing.
got, look at, he's got a double row of them real Sharpies back in there. Look at that. That's a nice one. Here you go, young man.
Look at
I
he's
mean, you
showing,
did do all the work.
Oh, yeah.
showing off for the camera too.
Oh,
Look at how
man.
beautiful he looks.
Plus, my biceps aren't
fish,
hardly
huh?
big enough to hold it.
That's what I was trying to tell you. That's what I was trying to tell you. I better just take control of this situation.
Nice fish. Look at how
Wow,
wide.
what a
Yes.
fish.
Just a wide,
Real wide,
big
Just
old
a
wide
fatty.
tail
Just
here.
a beast. He didn't want to come up, did he?
No, I didn't. When he first hit, he just smoked that board to the middle. That is a great
huge.
fish. I tell you what, you can come out to Lake Erie a lot. April, May is all good, but man, this time of year is just so cool because the fish are just coming off a spawn. They're aggressive. They're going after spinners, going after cranks.
When they're hot, you're hot.
When you're hot, you're hot. Great
As
trip.
long as they're this size, we don't care.
Bite whatever you want.
All right.
Got the guppy. Back in the water. Kapoosh, sheeple. that was the fish going in the water. Kapoosh.
Just get a gin fishing.
Oh God! I don't feel so good. But I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the next bite. So I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but I'll tell you what we are gonna try.
For more on the latest information for walleyes, muskies, and northern pike, check out the forums section and the extensive library of articles found on the Next Bite website at www.thenextbite.com.